What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning into another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic night. We're here for round two. Went through the initial injury report for the week for the Eagles and the Vikings for week 7, so go check that bad boy out. But right here, right now, we're going to talk about little old Howie cooking in the kitchen, a couple of practice squad signings. Now, each week we have practice squad signings and we release players, and well, each time everybody gets upset because, well, big move's coming, big move. It's the practice squad. We got to get that. We got to get the media. We got to get people on board with that notion. So 2 intriguing young players that I'm excited to talk about here with you. I know they're not huge name superstars. People are going to get upset. Just understand that this is part of the game that we do every week, adding people to the practice squad, whether that be for the opponent, injuries, things that are happening. They're just intrigued by someone that was let go, whatever it is. Just remember, Howie is still always cooking. So if he wants to trade for a corner, he wants to go out and get an edge guy, he wants to pick up another tight end, anything like that, it can still happen. So just keep that in mind. But let's talk about these 2 additions that the Eagles made today. We'll take a look at the updated practice squad, and I'll show you the depth chart too, just in case you want to see it. But appreciate y'all taking the time, hitting the like button, sharing, subscribing, becoming members. Subscribing, is free, so you don't have to do any of these things, that cost money. I just appreciate you guys taking the time. So thank you for that. But let's jump right into this bad boy. We're going to start it off getting to know these players, and we'll start with Titus Leo here. So we pick up an edge, and again, I know this isn't, everybody's favorite player in the world or something. Look, the guy's been in the league. This will be his 3rd season here. And, he came into the league as a 6th-round pick in 2023 by the Colts, then went to the Patriots, and last year was with them. Now, this year, spent time trying to make the roster with the Titans and the Browns on the practice squad and offseason roster, not happening. So found himself as a free agent. The Eagles bring him on in. 26 years old, 6'3", 245 out of Wagner. And, this guy actually has some pretty freakish athleticism for his size, his upper body strength. This dude was actually pretty fun to watch, but he hasn't done much in the NFL. You can see he has 4 tackles, 1 for a loss, and a pass deflected in the 4 games he's played. So let's go back a couple years, and, well, we're going to take a little gander here at what Titus Leo did at Wagner there. And you can see, he spent 5 years there, and this is somebody that they moved all around, and he could play on the edge. You play box linebacker. They had him playing defensive back at times. So very intrigued. This kid, again, he's got that upper body strength that was truly impressive. He made that Bruce Feldman's freak list that we always talk about during the draft. This is a guy, he had like an 8.45 RAS score. That's that relative athletic score. You see, the 4.69 40. That's pretty good. So I think this is a kid that I saw he was like in the 90s for the RAS score when it came to edge. And then there's so many different things he was good at. It was really cool to see. But this is a guy that is definitely in development, and, being somebody that needs, his footwork, handwork, things like that. Obviously, he's not going to just come in and start. He's on the practice squad for a reason, but the dude can pass rush. And with that, strength, with that athleticism, I just think he's got a great motor when you watch him. I'm really intrigued to see. And, you can see in college, obviously having 12 sacks is pretty good. You get an interception as well. Hey, not bad for an edge guy, right? But he also had like 6 forced fumbles, 40 tackles for a loss. He was somebody that I definitely was intrigued there. But again, this is a practice squad addition, someone that dealt with some injuries there. So that's why you find these guys. And hey, maybe it's a diamond in the rough. Maybe this kid with the opportunities here finds himself making the roster in a few weeks, or just gets elevated and can prove his worth as a special teamer. I think, sky's the limit for these guys. So best of luck. These are 2 positions we talked about adding to, right? We joked, it's going to be 2 guys we've never heard of, right? But I've heard of them. I wasn't as familiar with Titus Leo as I am with the next guy, and that's Jaheim Bell. And if you watch the show, last year before the draft, we talked about Jaheim Bell, and I'm very intrigued by him. I like that. Tight end is what he is, but that H-back, you could call it a fullback if you want, but it's a guy that is a tight end who can, run block, pass block, catch the ball. You can line him up, as that fullback. You can line him up next to the offensive line. It's so many things you can do with an H-back, right? That's what we call them, your Chris Coolies of the world. Oh, I'm old. Kyle Juszczyk would be more of a modern term there. God help me. But Jaheim Bell was someone we talked about in the draft last year. So this is someone, again, drafted last year, 7th round pick. We talked about him in the pre-draft process, why I would like him on the Eagles, why he would be a good fit. And, a late round guy, round 7 is where he went. Obviously didn't end up with the Eagles, but 6'2", 241, not the biggest of guys. So that's why he's more so one of those H-back type guys, not your full-blooded tight end like Dallas Goedert there. But South Carolina, Florida State is where he spent his time. And look, very exciting to watch him if you go watch it. But you can see in the NFL, 2 catches on 3 targets. So not much to go with. Now, this graphic's going to look a little bit different. That's because I just went ahead and took the graphic from last year's show. You can do that when you talk about these players already. So it looks a little different. But you can see, got the gist of what's going on here. You got 95 catches, 1,260 yards on 9 touchdowns there. And that, is good for a kid that, was at South Carolina, then Florida State. Go check him out. I really was, intrigued by him last year, and I still am. And that's, I know he was injured this last year, and I know that there's reasons these guys fall, but I'm perfectly fine with that. Getting a Swiss Army knife, one of those players, you lose Ben Van Sumeren. We've been using the 2. I like these guys, that you're just trying things with, and we need to get a spark on offense. This guy's not going to be playing. He's on the practice squad anytime soon, but maybe, he, again, shows his skills with the gadget type player that he is and finds his way onto the roster, helping out in certain roles. That'd be great. But, we talk about being that H-back. You got to be able to block. And that's something I think he needs to work on, getting more physical now that he's in the NFL, with that size. I just think, it's a project, and that's what these practice squad guys are. Hell, half of them, are here for a couple days and they're gone. Come right back. Some of them you never see again. But I just, remember, it's the practice squad. So people always get worked up about this stuff, but I welcome it, man. Excited for the young man, both of them, Bell and Leo. 2 positions. We could definitely use some help in it. Tight end, my whole point is for the future. Dallas Goedert, love him. But things happen, and when they do, it's not good. Calcaterra's banged up right now. You've got Jenkins. You've got Latu. Jenkins on the practice squad. Latu was elevated, then activated. Now he's part of it, and, that's great. They play their roles, but I don't think Jenkins is getting elevated to be Dallas Goedert. And Calcaterra's not him. Kylan Granson's not him. He's more of your receiving type guy. So for the future, we got to look. So maybe Jaheim Bell finds himself here part of the future or something else. Not so sure he's the tight end of the future, but best of luck to them. Now let's take a look at the updated practice squad with those 2 additions. And remember, Audric Estime and Javon Baker were released, so didn't get to take them off before I added these on. Then I saved it before I took them off, and I was just like, son of a... So remember, Baker and Estime are gone from this, but you do have 2 edge guys in Powell Ryland and Jaheim Bell. And then, what the hell? I didn't put... So apparently I saved it before changing his damn name, too. Holy hell, Titus Leo in there. But, yeah, okay. Been a long day, folks. But here is the updated injury list and depth chart for the Eagles in case you missed anything. But no changes here other than, obviously, Za'Darius Smith retiring on us, which we talked about the other day. Those are the guys you will not see. Here is the offense that you can see. These are the players. And, clearly this offensive line, we need it to be healthy, get its shit together. Then we can get this offense clicking. Everybody wants to point fingers at everyone. Trade Hurts, fire Patullo. We do this every year. No, please just get your shit together and let's go steamroll everyone. I promise you everyone will be the biggest Eagles fan ever very soon, just like last year. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, here for Vic Fangio to be fired. Everybody sucks. I get it. They suck. Because this defense is the youngest in the NFL, and they've dealt with a lot of injuries, and I think they're going to get it together, and they'll be just fine. We need a pass rush, though. So Hunt, Uche, Ojulari, Johnson. If you're not going to get it done, Eagles need to make a move. We talked about a bunch of trade candidates, free agents the other day. Go check that show out. But, hey, man, next man up right now. Jalen Carter will be back. Yes. Bond, Campbell. Will we use Campbell as an edge with Nakobe Dean back? We'll find out. Will Quinyon Mitchell play? God help us if he doesn't. Dory Jackson and Kaylee Ringo going up against Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson. Say your prayers, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to need to put up some points in this one. They got a great defense, too. Go check out Behind Enemy Lines from yesterday. But we'll talk about those top matchups tomorrow. You see the safeties. Makuba's still developing. I'm excited about those guys. On the special teams, you can see here. Bigsby, get your shit together, bruh. Don't know what's going on there, but I thought you'd be a great addition because all we really need you for is special teams. And you've been scaring the living hell out of me. Please don't do that anymore. But that's all I've got for you, ladies and gentlemen. That is all I have for both Titus Leo and, of course, Jaheim Bell there. If you guys have any thoughts, anything you'd like to add, any questions, leave them down below. Always down to talk some birds with you. If you need anything else, you know you can always reach out. Always here for you guys as you are for me. Hope you had yourselves a fantastic day. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. I am completely beat. Cannot wait to get a shower, relax, and go to bed. I can't wait to see my family a little too. That'd be great if we could try to make that happen. You guys know life. Ooh, Lord help us. But guys, I appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do me a favor, hit that like button. Get this bad boy out in the universe. Subscribe, join this family. Help me out because I'm running on fumes here. But love you guys. Have a good one. But until next time, I'm Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there, and as always, go Birds!